So you join me at the end of the ranked week. I currently sit bronze with 4 points because I've done no races this week, and the one race I did, it didn't go well. But we've got 20 minutes left until promotion, so if we're quick, we can get one race in and that should be enough to secure silver. Things immediately went bad as we load into Singapore, which is the longest race it could possibly be, but on the plus side we do absolutely obliterate pole position. It's lights out and away we go, and I'm just hoping to get this done as quickly as humanly possible. We get a decent run into turn 1, but P2 gets a better run, and just for safety we run off wide, sacrificing the lead, but based on qualifying, I think we're quick enough that this should be an easy win. On to lap number 2, where we sit directly behind the leader. As you can see, he's not very confident. He's probably the least confident driver I've seen outside of the X-League Racer League. It does look like an easy pass, but unfortunately he was kind of a loose cannon. I didn't really know if he was going to swap me or not, and honestly I was happy to sit behind him and just wait for him to make a mistake. Well, it was fun just sitting behind him and watching him squirm at every given opportunity for traction. As we run into sector 3, he goes incredibly tight to the apex of that corner there, runs wide, and we get a beautiful switchback on him. He gives us a little bump on the left side, and that's when I just decide to back out of it. He's going to swipe me if I try and pass him, so I'm just going to wait for him to make a mistake because it's going to happen. The only issue is he brakes incredibly early into that corner there and makes me miss my braking point. So we're forced to spin around, and as we're rejoining the track, obviously the shitty autocorrect or auto recovery puts us back on track, and yeah, we're down to P3. And given how I only had 20 minutes for this race, this wasn't going very well. Luckily though, the unconfident driver runs into the pit, promoting us back up to P2. The only issue is we find ourselves behind another incredibly unconfident driver. Once again, because of the skill level in these lobbies and it being the last day for promotion, I was very cautious with overtaking people, and we go to the right hand side, round the outside at this corner into sector 2, and luckily he doesn't do anything stupid. With our one and only goal this race to be completed quickly, of course it fucking rains. Okay, you have to bear with me 1 second because the editing software I watch my footage back on has just crashed. I will be back on commentary in due course. Well, while we wait for that to load up, in the meantime, if you're enjoying this video, hit like and subscribe if you're new around here. If you enjoy watching Wash League racers do rank races and lose their sanity, then I'm your guy. The second we got into first, it was an easy race. We were able to pull a gap, we had the pace over everyone else, and it was an easy win. Well, that was until Codemasters just decided to say you're not winning, and yeah, despite that coming up, it didn't pause my game, so I ended up just going straight into the wall because the game really just said fuck you, you're not winning. So with that bullshit, we dropped to bronze level for the following week, and in the first qualifying session of bronze, we fucking drive like it.
That looked bad.
I will say I recorded this straight after the Singapore race, and already I was pretty pissed off. So it's lights out and away we go from P12 on the grid. The grid? That's not right. So it's whites out and away we go from P6 on the grid. And it's actually been a pretty decent start for once. We get P11 off the line. And as we head down to turn 1, I was just hoping for a nice clean race, which I don't get because I get spun immediately. And despite being spun 200 metres into the race, we're still somehow not last, and we've actually not gained or lost any positions. We're left to fight our way through the hell that is the Bronze League, get a bullshit illegal overtaking moment, but then the guy next to us takes him out for us and we get the position back. I will say though, an opening lap in the Bronze League is absolutely fucking terrifying. As I continue to fight my way through this absolute carnage, I'm just trying to be as cautious as humanly possible, but in the end I have to make up positions. And going up the inside of someone, we have to bump them out of the way, just because I was fearing for my safety. I will say I was quite pissed off by this point, but I wasn't at the stage where I was just going to hit people out of the way. Even though I technically just did. Overall though, despite the turn 1 incident, it's actually been a pretty good opening lap. We've got no damage to our car, and we're actually making up positions. We're only P10, and we've broken our wing because someone broke ahead of us. And one corner from a successful lap 1 and it's immediately gone to shit. Thanks to OPERS and Slipstream, we're able to cruise past this guy, but I wasn't very optimistic because this is one of the worst tracks to have damage. The following lap we pull into the pit and very nearly have a very nasty crash, but because I'm a nice guy I let him go. I could have very easily squeezed him into the wall and just said fuck you. I do admittedly have a very embarrassing moment here where I completely stopped the car to sort out my tyres, and then I didn't really pay attention and just sped into the pit lane. I will admit, not my best moment in racing. Not my worst. My worst being PSGL F4 at Silverstone when I tried to overtake someone coming into the pit. I'll play the clip and let you be the judge of which one is more embarrassing. After our pit stop, we're once again fighting through the field and we find ourselves battling with this guy. We're actually having a pretty good fight. It's not too disgusting, although I was pretty frustrated by this point. But coming onto the main straight, it should be a pretty easy path now that DRS is active. However, I don't make it to the main straight because I get pulled to the left hand side by the curb, slam into the wall, and that's another retirement. Now I would blame the game for that bullshit, but given the incident coming into the pit, I'm going to take full responsibility for that one. Owning up to a mistake. You can tell I don't league race anymore. On to race number 3 and our second attempt to actually finish a race. We get P2 in qualifying at Baku, and I didn't have a chance in hell at beating P1. Hopefully third time's lucky, it's lights out and away we go, and it's another average start, but coming into turn 1, we've got P3 on our outside, we're going to run him out of road, and we're going to hold on to position. So far, that's our best turn 1 of the video. A lap later, we seem to be sticking with P1, although he definitely is quicker than me. We are sticking on to the back of him, and a P2 would be quite nice, given how the rest of this video has gone. Never mind. Once again, frustration gets the better of me, as with a broken wing, I obviously need to brake earlier, and I completely forget to do that, and I run straight in to Michael Schumacher. For quite possibly the first time in this video, I think, I'm able to show my pace. We get a cutback through the castle section, up his inside, we actually make an overtake. That might actually genuinely be our first clean overtake of the video. However, we have to relive the Katamise incident from many years ago. He goes up our inside, and just completely fucks us. We get a warning for a collision with him. This game's shit, man. This game it just is shit. So after being on for a potential win 2 laps ago, we find ourselves battling for P5 with Ninja Penguin. I'm sorry if I'm struggling to have the motivation to continue this commentary, but there you go, we make up a move. He brakes pretty early into turn 2. Yeah, we pass Ninja Penguin. We're unfortunately not able to brake Slipstream or DRS by the time we get onto the back straight once more, and he absolutely cruises past us to retake P5. The positive being very clearly faster than him, we just need to pick our moment to pass him. And coming into turn 2, he's going to brake early once again. We're kind of forced to bump him out of the way again. Going up his inside, we've got DRS, so it should be a nice easy pass, although he does bump us on the right hand side. So we bump him back and we absolutely kill him. I personally think that is a bit of an overreaction. However, when I went to get a thumbnail for this video, I could see why he was pissed off. We'll get to that. The most interesting thing that happened for us for the rest of the race was the guy we took out calling us a sook. I don't know what a sook is, so I'm going to assume he meant sock and just assume that he can't spell. He didn't stop there though. A few corners later he sends me this message, and given the day I had filming this, I was pretty enraged by this message, and I just couldn't wait to finish the race and message him back. Knowing that the Ninja Penguin was spectating me at this point, I gave him a very passive-aggressive steering wheel wiggle. Now, to those unfamiliar with the wheel wiggle, it can mean many things. It can be an apology, it can mean pass me, or on this occasion, and most occasions, it can mean fuck you. Absolutely nothing else happened for the remainder of my race. We come home P5, and I was excited to message him back. Being particularly pissed off and arrogant at this point, I decided to message him back saying faster than you, mate, which is completely accurate. What absolutely threw me off, however, was a few minutes later, I get another message from another guy, who I haven't even seen before, basically just repeating what I said. And by this point I was so angry that I kind of just let my old league racing self have all the fun. If there's one thing I miss about league racing, it's having an ego battle with someone after a race. I assumed this Zero guy was a mate of Ninja Penguin, so I asked him a genuine question. And normally though he didn't answer my question, he just answered back with another question that had nothing to do with what I said. And given how it was wrong, I quickly corrected him, which I'm sure he would have taken very well. Annoyingly, he didn't reply back to that. I assumed Ninja Penguin got taken out of another ranked race, so Zero went to fight that battle instead.